talk to you about. Oh, that zoomed in, didn't it? Relationships and the reality of life, I called it. It's a bit murky today, isn't it? Let's see if I can somehow fix this camera. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about the realness of life, right? Because sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it's much harder, sometimes it's a lot more eye-opening and very, very humbling to be part of life. And our dreams come from, yeah, they're almost here too. Okay, let's just not lower our standards, but you know, probably like a surrendering. I'm like, oh, okay, is that the reality of it all now? Massive changes taking place and the energy feels very like, right? Like I had this experience yesterday of this fuck you and like, whoa, okay, I've never done that before. And I know a few other people, you know, going through challenges as well. So I wanted to speak about it because as I had the download for this live stream, I also pulled the card relationship patterns, right? And it says it takes strength to recognize the need for change. And that's as much in your life as within yourself, of course, right? Change without is not going to happen if you don't change inside of yourself. So, and that can be tough. It can be tough because it does take strength and focus to actually make the change and to turn the ship around and set different boundaries and show up differently for yourself, especially when you are aware. And often when we are aware, especially as light workers, we also have this thing of, we see so many patterns, right? And we're so aware. And I'm like, okay, where do I start? Like if I start here, doof, doof, doof. But then as you start to change in one direction, you still act out other patterns in other directions, right? So it takes a lot of strength to hold and then make changes from there and really kind of, I guess, learn to master your reality, because it's about holding your boundaries, but then also with setting different boundaries and holding that space. More triggers may come up because you actually haven't stood your ground in that before, right? Or whatever. When I think about relationship patterns, and I feel like I'm going through that in some areas of my life as well, where I know there's like certain red flags and certain behavior patterns. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. But then you catch yourself kind of leaning into that anyway. So like, no. See, and this is where it takes strength to release those patterns. Same when we go into relationships or into breakups or whatever it happens, right? There's always that aha moment of like, well, okay, what was it that I played in this, right? So just because you want to be loved right now is not a good reason to be in a relationship. Just because you want to be cared for right now is not a very good reason to be in a relationship, right? Or you need that friend, or you need a partner, or someone to talk to, or what have you. So when I just went for a walk this morning, the message that really came through is that it's kind of like a little baby crying out, right? And it doesn't have to be a baby, just hear me out. It's almost like a little baby lying in the crowd. It's like, help me, I'm hungry. And then someone comes in and, you know, feeds you and gives to you and cares for you and hopefully nurtures you. Hopefully, it's not always the case. Let's imagine you are a crybaby. No one comes, or there's no one can really like help you, and people get frustrated and you're still crying, and no one really needs to know what it is that you need in that moment. But all you want is just to be held. But as a baby or as a child, you've never ever had that, right? So you need to meet that need, and that need is not going to be met by like an intimate partner or other relationships. It's not happening. Every single time we do that, it's toxic. And sometimes our need for love, and with love I mean nurturing, holding space, wanting to be rescued, can feel so much stronger than our awareness around the red flags, that we sometimes don't want to see it, or we see it and we talk ourselves out of it or into but there's so much goodness, but there's this, but there's that. It's like, no, it's, if the cheese is moldy, you're not going to touch it. And this is exactly where this is so common, right? This is so funny because some people talk to me about this as if in like, oh, how did you not see this? Or your radar is off, or this and that happens, right? But when I look around me, more people than not have those insecurities or issues with their worthiness and their value. And this might just be a reflection of myself. But you know that when I look out, I see that and I'm like, oh, where am I like that, right? So that if you don't know, because when I compare it with the cheese and the mold on the cheese, right? How often do we go like, oh, we just cut the mold off and eat the rest of the cheese anyways? It's still good. But when it comes to relationships, you can't compromise yourself like that. It's you can't overlook those things. And if we haven't been taught to not compromise ourselves and that we are really worthy and that we deserve all the things, then yeah. See, I put the simple acts of kindness. Then we do need to be extremely kind to ourselves, because that can be very confronting, because it's hard to realize that, oh, they're not here to love us. We are here to love ourselves. They're not here to make us happy. We are here to make ourselves happy. They are not here to be our best friend. We need to be our best friend. And sometimes the most loving thing we can do for ourselves is to set a boundary and say, thank you, no thank you. I love myself, and that is just not what I need right now. And then the challenge comes in around so many challenges. The world is full of challenges, right? My life is challenge free was one of my affirmations. Then one of the things is that we don't know that the very thing that we feel like we know and deserve is actually out there. Because there hasn't been any proof yet, right? Has there? And our mind goes like, oh, but there is proof that I'm not worthy, and there's proof that I can't have relationships, and there's proof that I really suck at them, and there's proof that Okay, just quieten that. Just quieten the chat upstairs down a bit. Like a lot. Just quieten it completely, right? So, because we could also then it comes to simple manifestation around, okay, if that is what you want, see the signs. As in, like, if you were a sailor out on the ocean, and you know how you see birds coming before you see the land and stuff, right? This is kind of like what you want. For example, oh, well, I know other people have it, so it must be possible. Or that's actually men, women, children, whatever in my reality that do treat me lovely and nice. So why would I settle here for this? Oh, well, because I don't know that this can happen in intimate relationships, because I associate that kind of behavior with love. Yeah, but maybe we also know enough now to say, look, I may not right now 100% know or whatever. Actually, our soul internally always knows. But I know enough not to do that. And I will just learn, and I will be willing and open to learn and move into a different direction. And that is hard. You can tell me what you want, but that is really hard sometimes. And we do get better at it as we learn our worth and stuff. But sometimes the feeling we feel is just hard. It just feels hard. And it's just a feeling, but it feels hard to change, to accept that we are not loved or cared for or being someone else's friend right now. That maybe even we don't even have the space right now to attract the right relationship, or maybe that when I think about so many people, for example, going through miscarriages like that, there too is a reason for that this happens. Like I've read articles. I haven't really spoken to some people directly, but I've read articles where people were exposed to extreme and brutal torture, like really brutal torture, one of the darkest things I've read. And the way they came out was they actually ended up to be more protective of their partner. They ended up to be more present, trust more. In that case, it was a man. They really showed up, and they were the person that you wish, like that you want in your corner, that you need and stuff. So yeah, see the signs. And you know what? The best thing is also to not be in a relationship. Like, and it's better to be single, oh my God, hallelujah, and celebrate that time than being in a toxic relationship that's just gonna hurt you, that's gonna screw up your life entirely. Because you know what? If some part is off, it will eventually threaten to the rest of it. And personally, mine turned pretty much upside down. I was lucky to have my kid, but everything else just went down the drain. So, you know, I know that you can also, some people say, like, for example, when we talk about relationships and you have a breakup, and you come out of it, it's like, you know, having an injury on your arm or your leg or something, and you can't just walk the same, like, normally in that sense. You're a little bit injured, but you can still do the rest as much as you can, just like without the arm. So you don't have to kind of let it flush your entire life. But it does happen in some instances. It really does. And that's also how to hold your reality and then just deal with the kind of blow up, if you may, fallout. Does that make sense? And I'm talking about that, like that relationship breakup in that sense, all the emotions you're going through and stuff, right? So yes, let me pull another card. It can be very, very hard, but it's possible. And instead of hard, you can also say this is challenging. That makes it a lot lighter. It makes it more fun. It makes it more enjoyable. And the way you move through is a lot easier, because you know what? It won't last forever. And rather going through what feels hard right now than ending up in so much more turmoil, so much deeper stress, so much more you will have to sort out in the end. That will be a lot more painful and time consuming than choosing to do that little bit of hardness right now. Challenging. Spend quality time together, listen and talk to each other. Isn't that beautiful? And these are whispers of love, so they're all full of love, but it's so important, you know? Connection, get to know each other. Look at the sparkling stars up in the sky. Yeah, it sometimes feels like it takes a lot, but it's also beautiful. Like, it's worth it, and you're worth it, and we're all worth it, and we're all valuable of good times and happy endings and, you know, joyful things, and seeing the joy as we are moving through life. Does that make sense? All right, you guys, I just wanted to share that with you, because that's what I mean with the spiritual wings that fly, with the reality of it. Because, you know, we all have these like expectations and dreams, and then we dream out what that may feel like, and then our friends gonna like, oh, what if it's even better than that, right? And we'd be like, yay, we're flying in the sky. And then things happen in life, and you were like, hit by reality. Good morning, right? It doesn't show up that quickly, or it's not all that perfect, or, oh, this has to shift out for something else to come in, like, oh my goodness. And then this stuff drags out even longer again, or it's not quite the way you expected it to be, and it's a lot realer, right? Or other things happen in life. Your car breaks down, your kids get sick, someone dies, what have you, right? So yeah, all that kind of stuff happens for a reason, though. It really does. I've counseled some people with so much heaviness and so many challenges, and it does serve. And once you shift it and you can see it and you integrate it, you move through it and you see the purpose of it. And, you know, maybe in some instances like abuse or losing people, it's not going to be the way it was before, and it changes us. Yet, you know, it also brings our best version of ourselves forth. So, you know, hand to heart, if you think about, if you have had this like traumatic life-changing experiences, when you think about who you've been before and who you are now, would you change? Would you want to change? It's probably good and bad always, but I wouldn't want to go back. This is a good thing about going through the hard bits, because once you've been through the hard bits, and it may look uncertain or scary or whatever moving forward, but if you look back, you'll be like, all right, I'll take the road forward. Whatever happens, I ain't going back there. Right. So this is a good thing you can celebrate about a really tough freaking past or traumatic experiences. And maybe it's not funny to you yet, but humor is healing, and I wish that you do find the sparkle of humor in it all. So I'm going to also come back out here with I think we're at the heart chakra now, and do the chakra meditations again, and I'm really looking forward to that. I also am going to hold a full moon meditation on the 30th of November. If you want to join us, it's only $9. It's going to be online at 4 p.m. So please send me a message if you want to join us. My oracle card readings are available for you as well. So if you need someone to help you shift, transform heavy stuff, challenging stuff, if you're overwhelmed with a lot of things going on, please send me a message. It's my gift to dive in there for you and with you and pinpoint it at the bottom. It's like almost pushing a button, and then you can transform back out and your reality shifts for the better for you, right? So this is also for people who are serious and doing the work, right? Like oracle card readings, don't confuse it with like I'm telling you like rosy truths or whatever, like, right? If you're not ready to do the work, this may not be for you. If you are ready to transform and shift, even the things you tell yourself you have accepted or you are over this, because this may also be a denial talk, right? Then send me a message. I will guide you through this. I'm doing the work with people who want to do the work, who want to change. All right, who want someone that holds space for them and get clear again, find direction again, and just make sense of all that stuff that's happening around them, right? And so much more. So if you're up for that, please send me a message. I'm so looking forward to diving in there and working with you. I love what I do. I see it work over and over and over and over again. So please be my guest. Please. Be my client, work with me. And yeah, anything else? Oh, children as well. If you want to work with children, I love working with children. Please send me a message too. I love working with children. I have had amazing and incredible results. May it be just from shifting relationships with parents or within the family dynamic, all the way up to like supporting them through bullying them, having been bullied, not bullying them. Jeez. Where did that come from? Having been bullied and bringing them back to empowerment. So, and don't you feel like a bad parent? It can be sometimes this simple thing that I just said with a baby, right? Like where little inklings just happen in childhood, and they can't even speak up just yet about boundaries or something like that, right? Of course, you want them to always have fun and protect them and stuff and raise them without that even happening. Yet, personally, from my healing journey, I have healed wounds that were inflicted by a parent that had 100% intentions of playing. There were 100% pure intentions. But even that left a wound inside of me of being afraid of being attacked constantly. So you can be the best, most brilliant, most loving parent on the entire world and have the purest of intentions, yet still be received differently, you know, within your parents, maybe even your partner or your friends or other people. So don't take it personally. If you do take it personally, maybe come and see me and we can shift that for you. And what I wanted to get at is if you do struggle, especially within your family, like I feel like I get a sense that it's really hard for some people, especially parents, to come out and say, hey, we do need some help, because, you know, everyone likes to have their shit together and likes to have their families working and it's harmonious. Yet, you know, sometimes it's also like a cleanup, you know, like you keep cleaning up your kitchen or you keep cleaning your teeth every night, right? You do it consistently to keep it flowing and to keep on top of it. And then I feel like sometimes the work I do will even support families like that. So don't feel bad or ashamed or try to hide or whatever with something that may go on for you deep down there that you do want to address, but you haven't found the courage yet or haven't trusted yourself enough yet to speak up about, right? Like these sessions are also confidential. So whatever happens in our session stays in our session. So be sure that that is assured as well. No one even needs to know that we work together, right? It's online as well, so you can do it from the comfort of your home or wherever you are. Yeah, so feel free. It's your life. You know, you are living with that feeling inside your body. And if you want to shift it and remove it and transform back to more abundance, more love, more connection, more all these things that you do dream of, peace, space, send me a message. Right? Because it's possible. It really is possible. And I'd love to take you there. It's just that you got to take the step. And I'm here for you. So send me a message. And yeah. Other than that, the spread your wings and fly thing came out again. I shall see you on my next live stream. Lots of love to you guys. Bye. Oh, also, if you feel like someone needs to hear this, tag them in below and share that with them. Share them in groups and pages, anywhere you feel. That needs to be heard. Thank you, guys. I see you shortly. Lots of love.